For Chinese tech tycoon Jack Ma, there's a price to freedom, $26 billion. Alibaba, the Chinese e-commerce giant Ma co-founded, saw its Hong Kong-listed shares plunge as much as 9.4% Tuesday after Chinese state media reported that an individual surnamed Ma in the city of Hangzhou, where Alibaba is based, had been detained on national security grounds. According to China's state broadcaster CCTV, the suspect was placed under compulsory measures on April 25 on suspicion of colluding with overseas anti-China hostile forces to incite secession and incite subversion of state power. The one-sentence report, which was swiftly picked up by other state media outlets and alerted across Chinese news platforms, triggered panic selling in Hong Kong, erasing an estimated $26 billion from Alibaba's market value within minutes. Amid the frenzy, Hu Jin, the former editor-in-chief of the state-owned nationalist tabloid The Global Times, rushed to clarify on China's Twitter like Weibo that the report was misleading because the name of the suspect in question has 3 characters. Jack Ma's Chinese name Ma Yun has only 2 characters. CCTV later quietly updated its original report to match Hu's assessment. To further dispel concerns, the Global Times reported the accused man was born in 1985 in Wenzhou, while Jack Ma was born in 1964 in Hangzhou, and worked as the director of hardware research and development at an IT company. The clarifications led to a rebound, with Alibaba recovering the majority of its losses by the day's end. The market's rollercoaster reaction is the latest sign of just how skittish investors are getting over China's embattled tech sector, which has been a target of the Chinese government's heavy-handed regulatory crackdown since late 2020. Despite recent signals from the Chinese government, it is preparing to roll back the campaign due to the economic impact. As first reported by the Wall Street Journal, the market frenzy on Tuesday indicates investor confidence remains shaky. "I thought this was kind of an odd episode," said Victor Shi, a political science professor at the University of California, San Diego. Whether that was a warning of sorts to the technology sector as a whole, or perhaps Jack Ma personally, who knows? But it certainly demonstrated the government does not even have to arrest a senior technology executive to erase tens of billions of dollars from a company's market valuation. It just needs to release some kind of information, she added. That's quite powerful. And certainly what happened yesterday was a clear illustration of that power, whether it was delivered or not. But the fact investors were so quick to believe Jack Ma, once China's most high-profile billionaire, would fall afoul of state security authorities reveals something of the political reality many Chinese tycoons now live in. It doesn't really matter anymore if it's really him. The important thing is, a lot of people think it's him, a lot of people expect it to be him now. That is interesting, said a popular comment on Weibo, which drew 57,000 likes. The turn in public sentiment against Ma is almost as spectacular as his rags to riches story. Until about 3 years ago, the English teacher turned billionaire was widely worshipped for his charisma, outspokenness, and self-made success. He was even nicknamed Daddy Ma by some fans. But as tech companies like Alibaba expanded their businesses' empires, they've become the target of growing frustration and resentment among young Chinese workers who are fed up with gruelingly long work hours, high pressure, and stagnant pay. Jack Ma's endorsement of China's so-called 996 work culture, meaning working from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 6 days a week, drew intense criticism in 2019. As tech giants fell under the crosshairs of the Chinese government, evil capitalists have been increasingly blamed for various social ills, from relentless competition, skyrocketing property prices, to lack of social mobility. Within just a few years, Daddy Ma has been labeled as a rotten capitalist in public opinion, and many people are looking forward to Ma's downfall, Xian Dongliang, a blogger, wrote on WeChat. But the question is, will bringing down capitalists and driving out so-called foreign forces really make everyone's life better? Jack Ma has mostly faded from public life and kept a low profile since Ant Group CPO in the US was halted by regulators in late 2020. Once among the most outspoken figures in China, he hasn't posted anything on Weibo, where he has nearly 25 million followers since October 2020. His last Weibo post about a meeting with some 100 school principals to discuss the future of China's education was flooded with critical comments. "I won't be surprised if old Ma is jailed one day," the top comment said. "You're just a capitalist. Don't pretend to be a good person." Another comment screamed, Jack Ma remained silent throughout Tuesday as rumors against him swirled on the Chinese internet. Hashtags about the detention of the suspect surnamed Ma were among the top trending topics on Weibo, drawing hundreds of millions of views. "He has only silence, which is a special way of existing," Zhongfeng, a columnist, wrote in a widely shared Weibo article following the incident. "This kind of silence is of profound significance. For a public figure, his speech itself is an extension of his existence. When a person no longer speaks up, although he is still alive, still doing things, at least part of him has vanished."